Hi there and welcome to the Accelerate Coaching video cast. I'm Richard Kingston of Accelerate Coaching, your weekly video cast discussing hot topics in the health and fitness industry. Today we're going to be discussing the 5-2 diet. Now let's just start off by clarifying diet. The purpose of the 5-2 diet and the diet that anybody really goes on is usually to drop some weight. People will argue that you should use the word diet simply to mean that all the food that you consume, and that is actually what it is. But in the context of people in the fitness industry, and in fact most of you out there talking about it, a diet is something that you go on almost exclusively with the express purpose of losing some weight. So rightly or wrongly, that's where we're going to look at, and that's what we're going to look at for the 5-2 diet. Let's be very, very clear. Whilst personal trainers and people in the fitness industry should have some idea about nutrition, some are better than others, strictly speaking, we are not the professionals. The registered dietitians are the professionals. If you need proper dietary help and proper dietary advice beyond just how to cut some calories safely and some good foods to eat, you should be seeing a registered dietitian. However, we've been in and around these diets for a long time, used them, seen people have some success with them, so we can discuss them here and hopefully clarify some things for you. So the 5-2 diet is an intermittent fasting diet. What it means is that for 5 days of the week you eat normally, and for 2 days of the week you strictly control the amount of calories that you consume. This is usually done by, on a Monday, reducing your calories, and on a Thursday reducing your calories. The amount of calories you're supposed to take in are 500 or 600 for 500 for a woman, 600 for a man. This is very, very low. You're supposed to be taking in 2,000 to 2,500. So if you do the maths, you're 2,000 calories on each of the dietary days, the fasting days, down from your normal amount. Diets work by cutting calories. There's no two ways around it. There's a huge amount of debate that you can find, particularly on the internet, that will tell you that different foods do different things to you. But ultimately, it all boils down to one thing: reducing the amount of calories that you take in. Different foods will have different effects. Various diets will have various clever ways of reducing that. The low carb, high fat diet is another one that cuts out whole food groups that are very easy to overeat on, but ultimately it's a reduction in calories. If you're at 2,000 a day lower on 2 days in the week, it's a heck of a reduction, okay? They talk about 3,500 calories for a pound of fat, so you're looking at 4,000 in the week, so you can already see roughly where you're going to be successful with this. Is it a good diet? Well, it doesn't really put any restriction on you in the 5 days that you eat normally. So whilst you're having 2 fasting days, the other 5 days aren't really teaching you anything about eating better, which then might become something that's sustainable in the long term. And this is where we're really running into a problem with the 5-2 diet. Does it work? It does. It will reduce calories, and for a lot of people it's something that you can stick to in the short term. It depends what your idea of the short term is. The idea of any diet being 10 days or 12 days is faintly borderline ridiculous. You may lose 5 pounds on certain diets. That will be water weight. Within the muscles of your body you hold and store some carbohydrate, and we call that glycogen, and that's bound to water in your muscles. If you go on a very strict diet, particularly one lacking in carbohydrate, you will use that up and the water will get dumped. You might lose 7 pounds in 10 days. 2 of them will be from actual weight or fat, more than likely. The rest will be the dumping of the glycogen and water. So although it might seem successful, you haven't really lost all that much. Might be good for a holiday, it might be good to tell your friends on the scales, but ultimately it's really no more successful. And guess what happens when you go back on the carbohydrates? Anyhow, the 5-2 diet, the successes with it: not being on a diet full time. So we've said that it doesn't teach you anything in the days that you're actually eating normally. On the other days, it's almost like a little game. It's a trial. Can I get through the days on 600 calories? It's an incredibly small amount of food. If you have a latte at breakfast, you will blow your day, because that's probably 300 calories. There's anything from 250 to 450 in a pint of milk. So if you go in and you're used to ordering a Venti latte, you can kiss goodbye to pretty much any other food in the day. That gives you some idea of how easy it is to go over. Okay, so you have to really structure how to do it and how to go about it in that instance. One of the best ways to go about it is actually to not eat breakfast. Now, some people think it's sacrilegious to talk about not eating any breakfast, but no, you can go without breakfast. If you get through that initial phase in the morning of going, oh, I want some breakfast, and get to lunch, you will probably survive the day. If you then eat some protein and salad at lunch, which might take you the first 200 or 300 calories, and then hold out till the evening, eat again at 6 o'clock because you're hungry, and then survive the rest of the day, you'll be able to do it probably fairly comfortably. But you'll see that I'm using the word survive there. It's almost as though you're setting yourself up on these days as something of a trial. Some people like this. They can get through it because it happens right. Today's the fast day. It's black coffee day. It's salad at lunch. I'll have a bit in the evening. And even if I go to bed really hungry at night, I've got through the day. Tomorrow and the next day, I can eat normally. It works. That works for some people. That strict goal setting really does work. Having tried this in the past, the first day of the week off of the 3 days of normal eating is okay. The middle day, the Thursday, tends to be harder. When I tried it, I was up over 900 calories on those days. I just couldn't sustain anything less than that. It was just too much for me. But you can do it, but you have to look at doing this for the long term, 10 to 12 weeks, if you're going to do it. The barriers, the science, you look this up on PubMed. When I do these video casts, I will refer to PubMed. It's go online, it's where you can find the scientific papers to help support our positions and our viewpoints on this. The two main problems with this are, is it sustainable? Can you constantly starve yourself for any long period of time? I tried this for 12 weeks. By the end of it, you're getting quite tired of not eating for 2 days a week. The other thing is, it does make you feel hungry. If you go onto a different type of diet where you are simply slightly reduced in calories on a daily basis, and perhaps you're taking in more fibre, which is a great way to fill you up, and you're having some protein, or quite a lot of protein and lean protein, protein has a satiating effect. That means it stops you feeling hungry. So if you were to eat 3 boiled eggs or a small omelette or scrambled eggs in the morning, you ever try that, you'll find that you're not nearly as hungry by lunchtime as you are if you just have some cereal, even if the calories did match, because the protein is satiating. There are ways to go about it that if you ate 1700 calories a day for an extended period of time, you wouldn't feel hungry. The 5-2 diet, you will feel hungry. The second day of the week, certainly as you go in, you will find that you're feeling hungry. And it's not particularly pleasant, and it might put you off. It doesn't teach you particularly about nutrition other than what the calorie count on everything is. So although the calories for reducing your body weight are king, it's a better way to do it by stuffing yourself with fruit and vegetables. I mean, a vegan will tell you that that's the perfect way to go. A low carb, high fat person will tell you that's the perfect way to go. They reduce your calories, both of them in their own way, stop you feeling quite so hungry. There are better ways to diet that reduce your calories and give you more food than going on the 5-2 diet in the long term. You are better off seeking dietary advice and learning a better way to eat than just going on and starving yourself on the 5-2 diet. In the short term, 2 to 3 months, you might want to try this. You might have some success. Some people particularly like it. They like that goal setting. If you're a business person, if you're a high-powered business person, or someone who has business meetings and business lunches, it might be helpful to do this, because you can set the days where you're not eating much to lose weight that don't coincide with having to go out. There's a key responsibility of a personal trainer. I've worked in London for 21 years with high-powered business people. They can't be on a diet all the time, some of them. They have to go out. They are stuck in that world. 2 days a week, they might be able to squeeze it into their calendar where they can reduce this, because ultimately it is helpful for them to reduce their body weight for various reasons, which I'll go into in other podcasts. Anyway, I hope you found this video cast really useful. It's our first run of it. I'm Richard Kingston of Accelerate Coaching, and we'll see you next time.